In this video, I'm going to go over analyze categorizing credit and what you're supposed to do during this. So, the first thing that you should notice is that part one, it gives you information about different types of credit. So, there are six different types that you're looking at. They can fall under multiple ones sometimes. So, an installment loan is one that you generally use for a certain purchase. This could be maybe a car or some other type of item. It could also be a home. You can think of that as this is generally when it is a lump sum of an amount and there is a specific interest on that entire lump sum. So what they do then is they take that whole entire amount with the interest and divide it up over time. So for example, a car loan, you can have it for a certain amount of months. It could be 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, etc. And they divvy up the entire amount that includes the interest over that period of time. So you're paying a fixed amount for each month. Revolving credit, on the other hand, is more like a credit card. So that means that you're paying it off every month, but of course, there's only a minimum payment. You don't actually have to pay off the entire amount. It's not like it's always going to be the same because you'll make different purchases during different times of the year, and you can pretty much put anything on a general credit card. So then the next part is secured debt versus unsecured debt. So when debt is tied to a specific asset, such as a car, it can be repossessed if the borrower doesn't make payment. So what that means is if I take out a car loan and I miss several payments and I'm not paying it back, they can actually repossess or take back the car if you're not paying it. Whereas an unsecured debt, that means it's not tied to anything specific. So it's not like they can repossess your Xbox because you bought the new Xbox on the credit card. So this means that there's nothing to repossess if you default on whatever your loan is. However, it does really harm your credit score. And they can also penalize you in other ways. So sometimes that leads down the road of bankruptcy when you're maxing out credit cards and things like that. The next is variable rate versus a fixed rate. So a variable rate means that the interest rate can change during the time of that loan. So for example, when you're signing stuff, you need to make sure what you're getting into. If it doesn't specifically say or state that it is a fixed rate and that we will remain that way for the duration of the loan, then the company that you are dealing with has the right to actually be changing their rates as often as they want. They generally notify you ahead of time, but with that said, it's a little more dangerous because now you have to pay more attention to what that interest rate may be. It might increase, it might decrease. Whereas a fixed rate, which is usually something you get on like a house or a car, those can't change because once you're locked in, that's it. So then you're going to go down here where it says type of credit. So during the type of credit, you're going to decide, is it an installment loan or a revolving loan? So am I paying fixed amounts over time, or is that amount going to like change? So is it one of them or both of them? Secured versus unsecured. Again, when we look up here by that definition, is it tied to a specific asset or is it not tied to a specific asset? So again, if I'm looking at auto loan, it's going to be secured because it is fixed to the auto loan, whereas a credit card, it's not tied to any specific thing that I bought. Variable versus fixed rate, you have to decide, is this going to be a fixed rate or a fixed amount that I'm paying? Or could that potentially change over time given the circumstances? Generally, secured types of debt are fixed, whereas the unsecured have the option to potentially change. Not always, but generally. So then in the next part, you're going to reflect on it and answer questions based on the information that is provided.